so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough.
Good evening everyone. We warmly welcome you to the one-day free international webinar on structuring a research paper,
Every word I move so descriptive, like an
Anatomy of a Strong Manuscript.
against people who patented being.
Good evening everyone. We warmly welcome you to the one-day free international webinar on structuring a research paper, Anatomy of a Strong Manuscript. I am Jahnavi from Skill Activate. We will commence the webinar in a few minutes as some participants are still joining to ensure a smooth and focused session. Please keep your microphone muted during the session. Participants who unmute without prior permission may be removed. If you want to become a resource person or coordinator for a free online faculty development program, we will provide a link in the comment section. If you are interested, please register to that link. We will commence the webinar in a few minutes as some participants are still joining to ensure a smooth and focused session. Please keep your microphone muted during the session. Participants who unmute without prior permission may be removed. Morning, everyone. We warmly welcome you to the one-day free international webinar on structuring a research paper, Anatomy of a Strong Manuscript. I am Jahnavi from Skill-Activate. We will commence the webinar in a few minutes as some participants are still joining to ensure a smooth and focused session. Please keep your microphone muted during the session. Participants who unmute without prior permission may be removed. If you want coordinated for a free online faculty development program, we will provide a link in the comment section. If you are interested, please register to that link. We will commence the webinar in a few minutes as some participants are still joining to ensure a smooth and focused session. Please keep your microphone muted during the session. Participants who unmute without prior permission may be removed. Good evening, everyone. We warmly welcome you to the one-day free international webinar on structuring a research paper, Anatomy of a Strong Manuscript. I am Jahnavi from Skill Activate. We will commence the webinar in a few minutes as some participants are still joining to ensure a smooth and focused session. Please keep your microphone muted during the session. Participants who unmute without prior permission may be removed. If you want to become a resource person or coordinator for a free online faculty development program, we will provide a link in the comment section. If you are interested, please register to that link. We will commence the webinar in a few minutes as some participants are still joining to ensure a smooth and focused session. Please keep your microphone muted during the session. Participants who unmute without prior permission may be removed. Our special thanks to you today, webinar convener Dr. G. Anto Gnana Uday, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Co-Convener Sirisha Reddy, Coordinator Dr. Ravi Kumar HR, Associate Professor HOD and First Year Coordinator, Department of Basic Science. Thank you all for your exceptional effort and continued support in planning and executing the session successfully. If you want to become a resource person or coordinator for upcoming free online faculty development program, we will provide a link in the comment section. Please register to that link. The Google Meet capacity is currently full. If your friend or colleagues who are waiting in lobby, then please suggest them to join in on YouTube live chat. The feedback and certificate link we will share on YouTube live chat as well as Google Meet chat. Now it is my privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker, Dr. Ramesh Vankadoth. Ramesh sir is an experienced academician, researcher, and mentor in the field of management studies. He holds a PhD in finance and has more than 18 years of teaching and academic experience. He has published numerous research papers in national and international journals, and he has also contributed to patent research. His expertise spans finance, human resource management, strategic management, marketing, and business analytics. Currently serving as an assistant professor of St. Joseph Degree and PG College, Hyderabad. He is known for his dedication to teaching, research, and student development. It's over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. My voice is audible?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Okay, thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Thank you for introducing. Okay, today our topic is Anatomy of a Strong Research Manuscript, a comprehensive guide to writing and structuring academic papers. So today our agenda. So first one is introduction and background. Second one is related to the literature review. Third one is methodology. Fourth one is results and findings. And next one is discussion and conclusion. So these are the today agenda. So now I will tell you one by one. So introduction and background. So introduction and background. Why are you doing this study? So in that manner, we are discussing the first agenda. So one by one, I will explain you. So here introduction. So now just you can check the introduction. So we can write the any kind of articles or research paper or any project or anything. So first of all, how we can mention the introduction. So what are the importance and why they can introduce. So that kind of information now I will explain you one by one. So in that introduction, so here the opening session that provide context for your study and introduce the research problem and explain its importance and capture reader interest and establishes foundation for the entire paper and answers the fundamental question and why was this study conducted and what is the use and what are the importance and why they can selected that research title and in that research title previous also how many authors published it. So there is any kind of future scope or research gap. So then how they can set the stage of everything that follows in your manuscript. So in that manner we can introduce one by one. And second one is what purpose of the background section. So now already once we can select the research title. So what kind of background there is included, how they can select it, so what is the use, what are the purpose. So these things now we can discuss one by one. So here first one is purpose like they can introduce the topic, provide context and summarize existing knowledge and trends and issue. What about the present trend and what about the present issues and what kind of problems they can face and what kind of challenges they can face and how they can overcome the issues and how they can overcome the problems and challenges and what are the highlight about the current knowledge about the present topic and how they can identify the challenges and how they can identify the research gap in existing research and if there is any kind of scope. So then they can select the title and they will change the like location or they will change the title. So if there is any kind of scope, so they will change the title and leads the naturally to the research problem statement. Here research problem statement, first of all if in case they will write the research proposal, before what they need research problem statement required. Without research problem statement they are unable to write the research proposal. So that's why here research problem statement is most important. So that is a one kind of purpose and next purpose is function as bridge from general context and specific focus and research problem like they can face the specific issues. What are the specific issues and what are the needs of the investigations and what is the problem and who it affects and why it matters. And in that areas they should focus on the research problem and research. In that already previous few people already they already written the title. If there is any kind of research gap, then again they will modify and they will do the research and they will write the research article. In that research article, so if in case they will select the again, so what they need research gap need. Without research gap, so they are unable to select the title. So in that research gap, if in case there is any kind of something missing, or if anything unanswered in existing studies, in that areas, they will focus. So then they will again they will write the they will select the title. So that is the importance of the research gap. So in that research gap, once they can find, and by review of literature, in the review of previous how many reviews they are selected, in that reviews past, what about the condition and project latest version, there is any kind of update, and they how to comparing the results, and they can gap justified or not, and why your study is needed and original. In that purpose, background selection, they can select the title. So that is the one kind of importance related to the purpose of the background section. And now I will go to next slide. Just wait one second. Am I audible, everyone? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Thank you very much. Just put it. Next one, identifying the research problem. So how to identify the research problem? So here, once they can start the research proposal, it is based on the research problem. So before they can write the research problem, how they can identify? So how they can identify, here a few information I have to give in. Now you can check one by one. So first of all, what is the need? They need the specific issues and concern or research gap required for the investigation. And second one is must clearly define what the problem is. So they can face the what about the present problem. So that one also they should identify, and then they can write the research problem. If they are not identified, they are unable to write the research problem. So that is the one of the important of the identifying the research problem. And this research problem, who's affected, who's the specific person or specific areas, so who's affected, so that information also they should recognize. So that is the third one. And next one is related to the why it matters to academic community or society, it will be impact. So that is also one kind of identification research problem. And describe the what happens if the problem remains unresolved. Already previously few people written the research article, but there is not given the proper solution. Again they are selected same title, and in the title, so what kind of problem what kind of problem happened, and they are solved or not, or 50% or 60% the problem solved. If in case remaining 40%, why they can't solve, so what is the reason? In that area wise we can use this identifying the research problem. So that is the one of the important related to the identifying the research problem. Once you can identify the research problem, easily you can write the research problem, then you can start the research objective, then you can start the research proposal. This one interlinked one by one. So if you are not identify the research problem, you are unable to write a research proposal, you are unable to write a research objective. So if there is a research objective, if there is a research proposal, so that one match with the data analysis and interpretation. So if there is no research proposal or objective, they are unable to calculate the data analysis. So that's why here this is very, very important. So that is the importance of the identifying the research problem. Next one is the how to establish the research gap. So how to establish the research gap? Research gap in the sense we can consider sometimes, for example, maximum people they are selected same title already done in previous research or article or anything. So before they can start the research, so here what kind of importance they need and required. So step by step there is given, one by one we can discuss. So first of all, how to identify the gaps. So how to identify the gaps in the sense future gap or research gap. So here, for example, once we can study the article or report or statement or thesis or anything, So once there is any kind of missing, like for example 100% solve the problem, if in case again no need to take again. If for example they can solve the only 40-30%, they are specific on only one area, so remaining area they are not concentrated. So what they are not concentrated, that area again we can focus, then we can start the again research. So that is related to the identify the gaps. So that gaps related to the, sometimes we can consider short term or very short term or long term or very long term. It will be effect on the what about the specific time period. So that one also we should recognize. So that is the importance of the identify the gaps. And the second one is the reviewing existing literature systematically. So now once we can collect the review of literature systematically, we can study. So if there is any kind of gap, so then we can start the research. So that is also one kind of information. And the next one is they can compare to the finding across multiple studies. So without study, without a previous published article, so they are unable to study, unable to recognize the gap. So once they can recognize the gap, it is based on the study only. So that is one of the important. And recognize the inconsistency in results, if in case there are results also sufficient results given or not. If not given, so they are failure on what about the specific area, that one also they should recognize. And identify the underexplored areas, and justify needs for your study. So justification also given or not about your study. So that is also mandatory in current trend. And demonstrate originality or fake. So they are collected the information from through website or anywhere like AI tools. So that information also original or not, that one also they can demonstrate. And position your work scholarly conversation. So these things once they can followed by step, so then easily they will recognize the research gap like future estimation. So here just you can check the image. So there is given the three information only. First one is related to the less or number of information they are collected, less or number of information. So what about the sample size, and what about the population, and they are collected the information equal to sample size or not. So for example sample size is for example 100 or 200 or 300 or 400. They are collected the information like previous published journals. So like 10% below, like 20% below, so then we can consider the less. And second one is related to the outdated research, already published related articles we can consider as outdated research. So few people when they can start the they will write the research paper, so directly they will copy paste outdated articles. Just they can enter the title name and they can enter. So many articles it will be open. And outdated related, if in case once you can check the plagiarism, so that article previously published or not, that information within second we know that. So that is related to the outdated research. And third one is related to the provide a direction to the research. So once we can start the research, so we should follow the instructions, rules and regulations. What are the rules and regulation? Already I have to give in the agenda. So once you can refer to that agenda. So in that agenda, what about the specific information they have to give in, once you can study and you can understand, and the direction once they can follow, so then easily you can complete the research paper. So that is the establishing the research gap. Next slide, research objectives. So now here once again, already I told you research objectives and research proposal and research problem. So once there is a research problem, so then easily they can write the research objective and they can write the research proposal. If there is no research problem, so directly how they can write the research proposal or research objective, they can consider no. So that's why here once they can start the research objectives, so there is given few instructions. So before you can write the objectives, you should follow these rules and regulations. So objectives must be clear, specific and measurable. So that is the first thing. And second thing, they should be achievable within your study constraints, and it is linked directly linked to the identified the research gap. This is a very important, so everyone should underline this point. Identify the research gap. If in case there is no research gap, so your research paper also invalid. So because of once before they can accept your paper, they will check the research gap. Either in that paper research gap is there or not. If in case is there, so then they will accept. So that's why previous linked articles also they will be searched. So that is one of the important. And research questions guide your methodology and analysis. So these things you should follow before you can write the research objectives. So that is the importance related to the research objectives. And here objectives, research questions guide your methodology and analysis, and significance answers, so what, and who cares, why now. And so these things also you should follow. So these are the information they have to given for the instructions. And next slide, significance of the study. So now here significance of the study in the sense before you can start the research objective, what are the identification of the study, that is also mandatory. So in that identification of the study, they can consider academic knowledge and professional practice and policy development and future research, and readers must understand and significance answers. So these things, this process, once they can follow, so then easily they will write the research objective. So that is the importance of the significance. And next is structure. So now just you can think about the structure. So there is given some process, like here just you can check the image. So here they are taking the funnel approach. In that approach, so they are given the procedure. First one is related to the read literature review. Second one is the identify future direction. Third one is the double check literature. Fourth one is the discuss with the supervisor. Next one is related to the conduct full literature review. Next one is the identify crisis gaps. So this is the structure, standard structure of the research gap. Before you can identify the research gap, so that title related, just you can start the study. So there is literature of reviews, how many included, so which is reasonable, which is not reasonable, and which is standard, which is not standard, everything related to paper. Once you can refer, then easily you can understand. And once you can refer to the review, literature review, so there is any kind of future direction is given or not, so that information also there is included. Once you can read, then you can understand. So that is the second process. And third one is related to the double check literature. Double check literature in the sense, same title, so how many review of literature is there, and how many is suitable, how many is not suitable. So how many is standard, how many is not standard. So these related to the double check literature, you can check 1 or 2 times. So then, so which is standard, which is not standard, easily you can identify. So that is the third research gap. And fourth one is related to the once you have to already you have to finalize the literature review. So once you can discuss with your supervisor like guide. So sir, I have to select it, for example, 400 review of literature. So this review of literature is reasonable or not, right or wrong. Once again check and clarify. You can ask them. So then he will guide you. So that is one kind of importance related to the discuss with the supervisor. So then the supervisor also, they will give the direction, then conduct the full literature review. So then easily identify the crisis gaps. So these procedure you should follow. So that is the importance of the research job. So where you will go, so the few people they will ask the question, how to identify the research gap. So this is the answer. Once you can follow this procedure, easily you will give the solution, easily you will give the answer. So this is also very important. So that is related to the structure. And next one is related to the Maximum people they will write the papers or articles or journals, like for example peer review journals or UGCK journals or Scopus index related or web of science or so different kind of journals they will write. So what are the mistakes and what are the best practices? So now first of all I will discuss with you how to avoid the mistakes. So what are the mistakes, one by one I will tell you. So first one is related to the excessive background to broad and the failing to define the problem. So what are the so in that statement, so what are the failure of the research problem? You have to select it, for example 6 or 7 research problem. So that research problem 6 are how many is good, how many is bad. So what about the failure conditions? So that one once you can recognize, then you can remove, so then you can avoid the mistake. So that is the one kind of information. And the third one is related to the maximum people, they don't have lack of clear objectives. So once they need the any kind of objectives, directly they will search in AI tools and they will copy paste. But that objective is also matching with your title or not, they are unable to think. So that is also one kind of mistake. And maximum people they will give the justification weak in the sense before they can give the justification, so that statement is right or wrong they don't know. So that's why sometimes they will get failure. So that is related to the weak justification. Before you will justify, once you can approach to research people, so then they will give some suggestions or ideas. So then you can rectify, so then you will take good decisions. So that is related to the mistake to avoid. And few people poor background gap connection, they don't know, they can't understand, they don't have awareness about the research gap and how to identify the research gap, what is the research gap, why they can implement. So these reasons they don't know, so that's why they can mistake. So that is also one kind of reason. And next one is related to the outdated or irrelevant sources related information they can copy paste. So once you can avoid these mistakes, so then your paper will be get good score. So that is the one kind of reason. And what are the best practices? Best practices in the sense, keep background concise and state problem explicitly and use smart objective and evidence based justification. Once you can write the any kind of statement, before what you need the evidence. Once any superior they will ask the any kind of question, you can show them evidence, so then they can't ask any kind of question. So that's why you can collect the any information, so before asked, you can show them evidence. So that is also most helpful for you. So that is related to the evidence based justification. And clear logical flow you should follow. So if in case you can follow the clear statement, clear logic statement you can follow, then there is no problem. And current peer reviewed sources, so where from you can collect. And for example previous published papers, where you can collect, where you can search. So there is some platforms, like for example researchgate. Just you can check in researchgate. Once you can click the researchgate and you can type the title of the article, then you can search. So then easily that article related statement, how many published previous, and where what about their justification, what about the in that paper there is any kind of future gap, everything within second you will collect. So first of all you need the clarification about where from you can collect the previous published journals. So there is some platform like researchgate you can refer, Google Scholar you can refer, and Arcade you can refer, and Vidwan profile, that one also you can refer. And Scopus ID, Scopus indexed journal also you can refer, and Web of Science also you can refer. So then previous published article, it will be you need the any evidence in future. For example, you can collect from them. So then easily you will show them. So that is related to the best practices. So these are the common difference between the mistake to avoid and best practices. Next, already introduction is over. So this is related to the introduction part. So now I will tell you literature review. So what is the literature review? So listen once again. So just you can think about the MBA project or BBA project or PhD thesis or you can write the any article. Okay. So anywhere. So what do you need? Review of literature need. Without a review of literature, they can't consider your paper or project or thesis or anything. So that's why that is a very important. In that same title related, how many reviews are there? Once you can search in Google Scholar, once you can search in ResearchGate, once you can search in Scopus Indexed Journal. So there is any future gap or research gap. Once you can study, then you know easily you can get the clarification about the research gap. So that's why here literature review is most important. So literature review is most important. So here they have to give in the some clarification about the literature review, a critical summary evaluation of the existing research, and examine what is already known about your topic. Already in your topic, already now you have to selected one topic, same title related articles previously how many published. So in that article how many reviews they are included. So just you can refer and study and show them show them your guide, so then he will guide you. That is also one of the important related to the literature review, and easily you can identify the gap like research gap in current knowledge, and it provides a foundation justification for your study. So these things wise we should refer to the literature review. That is the literature review. And what purpose? What purpose of literature review? So here literature review provide essential background of the knowledge and demonstrate your understanding of the field, and identify the research gap that justify your study, and avoid the duplication of existing research, and support development of research questions and hypotheses. So before you can write the hypothesis, what you need the variable of the study. So you have to choose in the variable in the title, how many variables you have to select it. From that variables you can write the hypothesis. So here one by one interlinked. So without variable, without a research question, you are unable to write the hypothesis. So that's why here literature review is most important. So these rules, this procedure you should follow. So that is the importance of the purpose. And what are the sources and the types of literature review? So now here just now I told you literature review you can collect it from what about the sources. Just now I told you some platform like ResearchGate, some platform like Google Scholar, some platform like Orchid, some platform like Scopus Indexed Journal or Web of Science related journals, and peer reviewed oriented journals, or previously published books and book chapters, and previous published any conference proceeding related journals, or previous published thesis and dissertation like Shodhganga platform. Once you will go search in Shodhganga, there is many theses published. So once in future you will do the PhD, you will select the any title of the PhD. You need the any guidance. So better to select the Shodhganga. So your title, now you have the any idea about the title? Just you can search there. Number of theses it will be available. From that title wise you can change or modification or anything. So you will do easily. So that's why here this direction you should follow. And any kind of government reports and scholars and scopus and web of science, and these things are the sources of literature review you should be collecting. So this is the one of the important related the sources of types and reviews and literature. And next slide, critical analysis literature. So critical analysis of literature don't simply summarize, analyze critically, compare findings across different studies. Different studies in the sense, for example, maximum people already done like MSME oriented research paper, SMEs related research paper, women empowerment. So in that women empowerment, once they can select, so what about the specific area? they are focused on what about the research gap, what about the scope. If there is scope, any people already in previous not published in that scope in that area, then you can choose the different place. So there is any kind of different once you can refer to the different previously published articles or papers, once you can study, then easily you will get the some awareness. So that is the one kind of reason. And evaluate the what about the strength and weakness of the methodology. So here methodology also we have the separate topic in the third chapter. So third chapter when it will be begin, then I will explain you methodology. So that is the third one. And identify the pattern, trend, and contradictions, and highlight the limitations of the previous research. And critical analysis, what are the critical analysis, and demonstrate scholarly thinking and depth. So in these areas you should analysis. Once you can collect the literature, so critical analysis once you will start, so then and you can ask to any advice to superiors, they will easily guide you. So that point of view, this analysis is most useful for you. And organizing the literature review followed by, so this procedure one is thematic, chronological, methodological, theoretical. So this is the number of review of literature we can collect, but in that review of literature followed by direction, four different ways. First direction is related to the thematic, second direction is related to the chronological, third direction is related to the methodological, fourth direction is related to the theoretical. But once you can collect the review of literature, your review of literature is related to the thematic oriented or chronological related or methodological related or theoretical related, which is related once you can identify. So thematic in the sense here most effective if in case in that review of literature compared to other study, very most useful and effectively, so then we can consider the thematic. And chronological in the sense if in case trace development over time, so there is include, then we can consider the chronological. And methodological in the sense compare the research approaches, so they can compare to one research paper to another research paper. They are followed by what about the approaches, what about the different style, different procedures, and different methods, different process, different steps they can follow. So that one consider the methodological related. And theoretical in the sense maximum people they will show the review of literature theoretical oriented in the sense, for example, they can directly they can copy paste from research article without study and books and chapters. So if in case any research people, they will ask the question, this review of literature where from you can collect, they will give the answer, sir, I collected from books, I collected from chapters, I collected from some few peer-reviewed journals, but that evidence not showing, so then they not consider. So that is related to the organizing related. Now I will go to next one is related to the methodology. So now just you can think about this is related to the review of literature diagram, just you can check. So this review of literature they can consider and they can classify some reviews related to the social cognition. Second one is related to the social psychology related. Third one is related to the social interaction related. Now once you can read this diagram, so then easily you can understand. So your article is related to the impact on what about the specific area, and what kind of conceptual theoretical framework it will be designed, easily you can understand. So that is the importance of this diagram. So well, this diagram after completion this presentation, I will share this PPT, just you can refer this diagram. And what are the common mistakes of the literature reviews? Listing studies without analysis. So directly they can collected the studies, I collected 100, 200, 300, 400. Without analysis, directly they can copy paste. They will tell you only for number of reviews only. But there is a standard or not, they are not identified. So that is the one kind of mistake. And second one is related to the using outdated irrelevant reference reference related reviews. they can select and copy paste. So that is one kind of mistake. And the third one is related to the including sources of unrelated your research question. Research question is different, research problem is different, review of literature also different. So here review of literature not interlinked with the research problem, research question, and research objective. So then how to give the justification? So that is a one kind of problem. So that is a one kind of source. And next one is there is lack of logical organization structure. So that structure they are not followed. What about the standard rule they have to give in, they are unable to follow? That is also one kind of failure. And failure to clearly identify the research gap. They can't clearly identify the research gap, future gap they are unable to identify. So that is also one kind of mistake. And plagiarism, poor paragraph and sources. So once they can check the plagiarism, they will get above 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%. Where from you can collect that information easily? It will be show from you can collected this information from AI tools, chat GPT or Copilot or previous journal. So with once they will check the plagiarism, so your paper is maximum you were collected from what about the source, it will be shown. So that is the one kind of common mistakes in the review of literature. And next slide is, so these are the literature review. Now I will tell you methodology. So now just you can think about the methodology before we can start the methodology. So here everything here start with the question. So how to describe and how the research was conducted, research how was conducted, and provide the detailed explanation or procedure and materials, and ensure transparency in your research process. And you can allow other researchers or replicate your study or demonstrate validity or reliability of your research, and build credibility and trust in your findings. So these kind of questions they will ask. So if in case you can start the methodology, you should follow this direction. So you have the proper answer in that questions. So then easily you will go with the standard rules. So now, for example, here methodology in the sense maximum people components of the methodology they should follow 6 ways. One is the research design, second one is the study of population, third one is the data collection method, fourth one is the research instrument, next one is the data analysis techniques, next one is the ethical consideration. And now just you can components you should follow these 6 ways. 6 ways also it will give the different direction. Research design, so it is overall strategy to answer your question. Once you can start the methodology, so they will ask how to select the research design, what about your methodology. So you are selected from methodology like primary data or secondary data. So which one is you can select, primary data and secondary data? What is the difference between the primary data and secondary data? So that's why here research design is way most important. And the second one is related to the in your area population, how much your sample size, how much population. For example, there is 1,000, your sample size 500, so 50% only. So for example, your population is 1,000, but your selected sample size is 50%. Why? So why you have to select it only 50%? What is the reason? What about the specific? They will ask that question. You will give the answer. So that's why before you can select the sample size. So what about the problems they can face, and how to collect the data? So you are depend on the primary data or secondary data, and you were selected. What about the sources? So data collection method, you have gathered the information from. So which tool you have to use it, and what about the research instruments, which tool you have to measurement point of view, which tool you have to utilize, and how to calculate the data analysis, and what about the ethical consideration. So these things you should followed by components of methodology only. In that after components, just you can check here research design. Research, just you can think about the research design, that one classified into how many types. So there is, check once again, first one is the experimental, second one is the descriptive, third one is the survey based, fourth one is the case based, next one is the qualitative, next one is the quantitative, last one is the mixed. Your research design based on which is related, experimental based, or descriptive based, or survey based, or case study oriented, or qualitative oriented, or quantitative oriented. people maximum they have to done the research paper or thesis or project. So when peoples they can ask the question, your research design is related to the what about the specific area, they are unable to give the answer, they don't have awareness. So that is a one kind of failure. So you should, before you can start the research design, followed by these ways. So this was experimental. So if once you can start the experimental, so what about the cause, what about the reason, what about the effect, so what they can affect on the what about the specific area. So if in case there is any kind of effect or reason, so that one based on the experimental oriented. And if there is any characteristics oriented, you can start the research, so that one descriptive oriented. And survey based in the sense you can collect the opinion from the people. So for example, you can collect the opinion survey based in the sense, for example, face to face, or you can select the any interviewing method or questionnaire method or anything, you can select survey based questioning related. So that one consider the survey based oriented. And case study, once you can start the case study in depth exploration there is included, that one we can consider the case study oriented. And qualitative in the sense here, understanding and meaningful. So that is related to the concept is very understanding and meaningful and worthful, then we can consider the qualitative oriented. Quantitative in the sense like numerical value testing and hypothesis and calculation point of view, they can use the quantitative only. And mixed methods in the sense combining the approaches, they are taken experimental, they are taken descriptive, they are taken survey, they are taken case study, they are taken qualitative, they can taken quantitative, they are mixed 10% 20%, then we can consider the mixed. So now here scientific method always it should be focused on the observation, then they can ask the question, then they can start the hypothesis, then they will start the experiment, and then they will start the analysis, then they will give the conclusion. This is related to the scientific method followed by procedure. So once you can check this chart, easily you can understand the research design and scientific method. And sampling data collection method. So now just you can think about sampling consideration, define the target population. So you have to choose in the one area, for example I have to choose in the area like for example Hyderabad or Rangareddy, okay, or Nalgonda. In Telangana, I have to choose in, for example, one district. In that district, so what about the population? How many mandals, how many villages, how many urban areas, how many rural areas, what about the population? And that population you should target. Then you can select the sample size. So you, in that area, you have to choose in the only small area. What about the sample size? That sample size above 100, above 200, above 300. So how, what about the sample size? So then choose technique, random, certified purpose, and data collection, survey and questionnaires related. Few people they can follow the data collection like survey, like face-to-face visit and door-to-door visit, and face-to-face they can ask the question, and they can collect the information from questionnaires, and they can collect the information through interviews method like structured, semi-structured, and they can collect the information like through observations and laboratory experiments. So there is given few charts or images, just you can check that chart. Observation like investigation, questionnaire, they will ask that question multiple people, interview, so there is include the only two people one to one. So they will one person is asking the question, another person he can give the answer. So then they will collect the data. And next one is focus group sections. So for example in that area there is population is for example 1,000 people, that is like one kind of gram panchayati or village. So that that area people once they can call and collect and they can conduct the meeting, and easily they will collect the information, they can face the what kind of problem, so what are the major problem in that area, and how to support the government schemes. So like for example nowadays our government also already started census method, like for example population, how many areas in Telangana, what about the population, and they can face the what about the major problems, and how to interlink it with the government schemes, like for example central government Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, and state government Rajiv Gruha Kalpa, how many people they have home, and how many people they don't have homes, and how they can conduct the survey, and what about their income level, what about their population, how many people staying in their home, so who's the family head, and family head working condition is he's working in a public sector or private sector, he's working or not. So these kind of information they can collect, and what are the major problems in that colony, in that village. So once they can identify, government they will support. So this is related to the one kind of sampling and data collection method. And data collection analysis, this one quantity, qualitative already I explained, and ethical consideration just you can think about. So before manuscript research paper structure, so once you can write the research paper followed by these 7 ways. First one is you can choose the title, then you can write the abstract about the title, then you can write the introduction about the title, then you can write the materials and methodology oriented, then results and discussion like data analysis and interpretation, and what about the findings about the title, what about the suggestion about the title, what kind of recommendation you have to give in, and what kind of conclusion you have to give in. So these things you should followed by research paper. Before you can write the research paper, you should follow this procedure. This is related to the ethical considerations of the manuscript research paper structure. So that is a one kind of information. So next one is related to the characteristics of the strand methodology. So strand methodology, if in case you have to maintain, you should follow some procedure. First one is related to the clear and a detailed description, and appropriate stated research objectives, scientifically justified or not, and reliable instrument approaches there is included or not. So these things, these characteristics there is available or not, once you can check, then you can write the strong methodology. So these are the methodology. Next, fourth one is related to the results and findings. Result and findings in the sense data analysis and interpretation. Once you can collect the data, so then the data, you can write the data analysis and interpretation. Like for example, here present the outcomes. What about the outcomes? Study based on the analyzed data and the reports. How to that report is matching with the objective or not, and interpretation also matching or not. And what about the research question evidence? And what about the conclusions we have to give in. So these things we can discuss about the research and the findings. And what are the components? Descriptive results, statistical results, table and figures, and key findings, comparison with objectives, and results should follow logical sequence. So these things we can include in the result and findings. But descriptive in the sense characteristics oriented, statistical in the sense once we can start the data analysis and interpretation, we can use the some statistical tools. In that statistical tools, maximum we are used for quantitative test oriented. So if there is quantitative, then we can use the statistical tools. Like for example, we can use the methods like regression analysis and correlation analysis. So which analysis you have to use it for the statistical point of view. And once you have to done the statistical analysis, so you can create the table, and you can write that, you can select the table, and you can apply the Excel bar chart, pie chart, and interpretation also you should include. So comparison, for example, 2 years or 3 years compared to past to present, so their strength or weakness is changed or not. So that interpretation also you should mention in that components. So that is also one kind of important. And the presentation always visual formats oriented, like table oriented, like graphs oriented, like charts oriented, like images and diagrams oriented. And best practices results are always we have to showing like visualization point of view, how to visualize, like table, like graphs, like charts, bar chart, pie chart, you can select anything, or images related. So it will be effectively for your result analysis. And reporting and finding, fourth are most important outcomes. 75% participants showed improvement after intervention. And here highlight major findings prominently, and present exact value where the necessary. Once you have to findings, that one findings matching with the data analysis or not. In the data analysis figure is different, in findings figure is different. So then can you consider? No. So here in data analysis, for example, there is showing, for example, 40% result, in finding 60%. So both values are same, different. So then your reporting findings is reasonable or not, is good or bad, bad. So that's why once you can write the findings, you should compare and you should observe with the data analysis and interpretation. In the data analysis and interpretation, what about the specific percentage there is given, that percentage also mentioned in the findings. then you can write, and then you can give the recommendation, then you can give the suggestion. So that is a one kind of important. And statistical analysis, quantitative and qualitative. If in case you can choose the quantitative study, maximum they can choose the tools like mean and standard deviation, correlation coefficient, regression analysis and results, and p values and significance tests, and effect sizes and confidence intervals and model fit statistics. These tools they are used for the quantitative. And qualitative, they are used the identified themes and categories and participants and quotations and pattern and observations and frequency of theme occurrence and representative examples. If in case there is include, then we can consider the qualitative. So these are the difference between the quantitative studies and qualitative. So sometimes, for example, where you will go and you can give the conference or seminar or presentation, they will ask the question, what is the difference between the quantitative studies and qualitative studies? You should follow this principle, so then easily you will give the answer. Mistakes avoid. Here there is given some mistake how to avoid, there is given some guidelines, you should read once you can understand. These are the result and findings related information. Conclusion. So here conclusion, what is the discussion, meaning, significance and related findings of the existing literature, address research question is directly. So these things you should followed by this session. And what are the importance of the discussion, connect with the result back to research objective. So when we will give the result, like for example conclusion, it should be matching with the research objective. Research objective is different, your conclusion is the different, then your paper is valid? No. So that's why before you can give the conclusion, that one matching with the objective or not, that one matching with the data analysis or not, that one matching with the findings or not, you should compare, then you can give the conclusion. If connection is a different way you should follow, so then your paper is invalid. And demonstrate contribution your study, demonstrate demographic data, how much demographic data, like for example, so there in that area how many males, how many females, educated how many people, and uneducated how many people, that demographic related information also you can consider and you can show the evidence. So that is also most helpful for you. And explain the unexpected contextual findings and place finding broader scientific context. These things you should importance of the discussion. So you should follow this structure. And components, summary of key findings, interpretation of results, comparison with the previous studies, implications of findings, limitations of the study, recommendation for the future research. So these are the components of the strong discussion. You will take any paper, journal, book, lecture, or thesis. You should follow this strong discussion is based on these components. So this rule everybody keep in your mind, don't forget. And interpreting in the sense, explain the pattern and trend point of view you can use, and discuss the variable relationship point of view you can use, and discuss about the address and hypothesis support point of view you can use, and discuss about the unexpected outcomes point of view you can use, and evidence based explanation point of view you can use, and simply repeating resulting point of view you can use. So this is the importance of the result. Literature here findings support early studies or not. Are there contradiction? Why? And what value insights emerge? Or demonstrate scholarly understanding or not? Highlighting originality of not? Are highlighting or not? And strengthen scientific contribution or not? So these things you can ask the question. So these are the interpreting and comparing the result. So you should compare once complete your research study or a research paper. Limitations and future direction. If you can write the any article, already you have to publish. The other people also they can choose same title. They should follow the future direction. In that title, there is future gap or research gap. Then you can select. Otherwise, no need to select. So every study has there is some limitations that you can identify and you can acknowledge. And then what about the small sample size? What about the limited duration? What about the geographic restrictions? So these examples you can refer and you can study, and what kind of measurement or constraint is followed, and what about the funding limitations. So these things also you should compare, and acknowledgement the limitation enhance the credibility, not diminishes it, and suggest the future research larger sample. So you will take the sample size more than, not less than, not neutral, different population, and suggest the long study related to the alternative method of measurement. So these things you can follow, and consider the professional editing for languages, and practice presenting your research under different formats, and stay update with involving standard in your field. And remember, writing is rewriting, revise. These tips you can follow before write the paper. So this is the tips I have to given. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity. Any doubts? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? If any doubt, please ask me. Otherwise, I will wind up. Hello?
Excuse me, sir.
Tell
May
me.
I? May I?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, sir, I am from literature background. Like
Okay.
usually, nowadays papers they look for the statistical.
Okay.
Hello.
So that's why
So,
I will suggest you.
hmm,
I will
yes.
suggest you, before you will select the title. Before you will select the title. So you have the many platforms. So
Okay.
platforms like I told you already, like
Your voice is
and enter your title name
it's cracking actually.
in that article. So many reviews will be displayed. So that reviews is related to your title reasonable or not. If you can understand it is reasonable, then you can select a few many. And so if in case, do you have any supervisor or any senior who will give suggestion, they will guide. So that the reviews is related to your article is suitable or not. First of all, they will give the justification. First, you will select, so then you can follow the procedure, so then you can understand. So that whatever the future gap there is given or not, whatever the future study, research gap, that research gap interlinked with the research proposal or not, research objective or not, just you can discuss with him, then he will give the proper guidelines. Any you were from any domain like commerce, like management, like science, like anything. So you should follow. First of all, you can start the paper. First of all, you can collect the reviews. That reviews is related to your article or not. So then, what about the latest reviews about your title? So there is any kind of future gap. There is any kind of research gap. Once you can read and you can study, then you can understand, and
And one more question, sir. For the sample collection, if in case we go for the quantitative studies, hello, sir, am I audible? Am I audible, sir? Hello, hello. Sir is still connected. Hello. Yes, sir.
Maybe technical issue, ma'am. I will check it, ma'am. Please wait.
Yes, sir. Please. I guess the resource person got disconnected.
Ma'am, I already asked the resource person to rejoin. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for explaining about some topics like introduction to AI tools for academic research, AI assisted literature review and data collection.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Wait one second. Now audible?
Yes, sir.
Actually, here raining. That is the problem. Network issue, I think.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, ask some questions, sir.
Yes.
Ma'am, please ask the question.
Thank you so very much, sir. So actually, sir, my one question is that in the quantitative studies, like if the population size is undefined, how do we is there some formula which we have to stick to for the sample size decision?
Sample size wise, I have to given some statistical tools. Quantitative, we can refer some statistical methods, and qualitative, there is given some procedure. So once we can choose the quantitative methods, there is given the many statistical tools. You can select the one or two. So for example, you can select the, for example, correlation analysis. So whatever the correlation analysis formula there is given, that formula you can substitute and you can calculate, then you will get the value. So quantitative in the sense, just you can check the slide. So there is given the under quantitative 4 or 5, 6 methods I have to given. So you can select the one method. You can select the one method. So once you can substitute that method, that for once you can calculate, before you can calculate that method related formula, you can substitute, then easily you will get the value. So then you can create the table, and you can write the, you can create the table, and you can select the chart, and you can write the interpretation. In that interpretation, you can compare to the value, compared to past to present, your the percentage value is changed or not, increase or decrease. So that information.
Okay, sir, suppose for example, if we have to study the educated and uneducated women, their social status, for example.
Okay.
So what would be the sample size, because the population here is undefined?
So you were telling about a research paper or a thesis or project?
No, paper, research paper, not thesis.
Research paper. So then maximum people, they will take the sample size 100 to 200.
100.
Yes, few people, they will take the sample size like 70, 80, 90, 100 or 150 or 160, 170 also they will consider. And if thesis, they will take the sample size 500 above, 600, 700 they will take. Depends on population, they will consider.
Okay.
But in that research paper, once they will write the research paper, they will select the population in that area, how much population. In that population, how many educated, how many uneducated. If they can select the educated people or uneducated people. If educated, what about the population? What about the sample size? If uneducated, if they can select the uneducated, what about the population? What about the sample size?
So how do we figure out which, we'll have to depend on some government document for the educated and uneducated?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Like for example, once we can start the research design, we can select a survey method or questionnaires. So questionnaires, once we can collect the demographic data. In the demographic, first of all, that person age, and educational details and qualification details and job details and occupation details and their income details, everything we can collect from like questionnaires or survey or primary data. Once we can collect that information, then we will go to study.
Okay, yeah. Clear. Thank you so very much, sir. Much obliged.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, this is Harpreet from Delhi.
Okay, ma'am.
Sir, I wanted to know from you what should be the ideal sample size for the pilot study, and this is related to my PhD thesis.
Yeah, just now I told you, madam, if in case that is related to the PhD thesis, our supervisor, they can expect minimum 500 above. First of all, they will ask the population in that area. in that population you have to collect the sample like 500 above or 600. So like in my PhD I collected overall 600 sample size. From that 600 500 only he can consider, because of remaining 100 they are not given the proper details, proper information. Only
Okay.
50%
Okay.
information given, 20% few people they have to given the information 20%, 30%. So failure 100, so that's why he can consider that time only 500 sample size. I collected 900, remaining 400 failure because of this reason.
Yes, yes. Sir, my
Mm.
population is the IT employees.
Okay.
So it is little challenging to collect the data. So in that case also 500 should be the sample size?
That's why I'm telling you. You were talking about research paper or thesis.
Sir, thesis, sir, thesis.
Thesis. Yeah, minimum they can expect 300, 400 above. Because of IT people also nowadays working in India, many people. Like you can select like in countrywide or statewide or metropolitan cities. In that metropolitan cities, what about the population size? How many people are IT? How many people are non-IT? So they will check. They will check the data, na. So that's why what about the population? From that population wise, so your sample size is reasonable or not? They will
Okay,
consider.
okay, okay. All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And some few tips already I have to given about PPT. Just you can read once again, and you can refer that PPT. Then easily you can understand.
Thank you, sir.
Before you can write the research paper or yeah, thesis. If you can write the thesis, if in case you can start the thesis, better to refer to the Shodh Janja, because of many people already uploaded their thesis in that Shodh Janja is a platform, one kind of platform.
Yes, yes. Right. Yes, sir.
And another thing is, if in case you can write, you need to write the research paper. Better to refer like a web platform like ResearchGate. Already I told you, and
Yes.
Google Scholar, and Scopus Indexed Journal, and Web of Science, and peer-reviewed journals, and Vidwan, and Orchid. These all are platforms. Maximum people they don't have awareness. If once you can refer this platform, there is many articles related to your article, to your title. Once you can search, then once you can read that article, then you will get idea.
Sure, sir.
Without studying, you are unable to get idea. Any doubts remaining, please let me know.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Can I wind up? Can I close? Hello? Hello? Can I wind up? Sir? Hello? Okay, thank you very much. If in case in future you can write any research paper or article or thesis, if you have any queries, feel free to call me. I will give the guidelines, and I will give the already I have to give the some suggestions. The suggestions and the tips also you should follow. Then you will get some idea and awareness about the research. So these are the direction I have to give in to you. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity. Thank you. Sir, can I close now? Hello.
Thank you, sir. Thank you explaining on some topics like introduction to AI tools from academic research, AI assistance, literature review and data collection. Before we conclude, we would like to thank our sponsors, JVK Technologies. JVK Technologies offers a publication services including Scopus, SCI, patents, copyrights, thesis, and textbook, etc. For any publication assigned, you are only invited to join their WhatsApp group link in the chat box as well as on comment section. We also thank all the participants joining us today. Before we conclude, we would like to thank our sponsor, JVK Technologies. JVK Technologies offers a publication services including Scopus, SCA, patents, copyrights, thesis, and textbook, etc. For any publication assigned, you want to be invited to join their WhatsApp group, link in the chat box as well as on comment section. We also thank all the participants joining us today. Please fill the feedback form for the certificates. Those who fill the feedback only will get the certificates. We also thank all the participants joining us today. Please fill the feedback form for the certificates. Those who fill the feedback only will get the certificates. We also thank all the participants joining us today. Please fill the feedback form for the certificates. Those who fill the feedback only will get the certificates. Those who fill the feedback can leave the meeting. Thank you. We also thank all the participants joining us today. Please fill the feedback form for the certificates. Those who fill the feedback only will get the certificates. Those who fill the feedback can leave the meeting.